Oh, seven Commanders. Welcome back to my next episode for gathering raw materials. I took 14 jumps to get over to Kappa-1 Volantis system to come to Planet 3FA, which is a location for finding brain trees. Brain trees is the farm location for selenium ore, which is a high-ranking raw material and used quite often in engineering blueprints. It's used for your dirty thrusters, any kind of efficient weapons such as plasmas. Um, it's also used in charge capacitors on your power distributors. It's used on thermal resistant shield generators, and it is also used for ammo synthesis for your SRB. So it has a lot of uses, and mostly it's for dirty drives and charge capacitors to get those all ranked up, since you're going to effectively put that on almost all of your ships anyways. So you're going to use a lot of selenium ore, so it was worthwhile to come here to get the brain trees farmed since we're going to use a lot of it. There's also other vents and from Mars which you can find other raw materials. So what we're going to do is we're going to find an area that is close to Famaris. So that little gap right in front of my little cursor here, that's we're going to land right on the edge of that. That's our target area. So we could get the brain trees and then flip over into that dark area to scout out the other raw materials that we could find. Kind of make use of our landing here. So of course I'm going to come in a little bit hot. Where's my marker at? All right, it's right there. Make sure I'm getting into the right area. Yep, that little peninsula right there. We're going to land right on the edge of that. So I'm going to come in. Looks like I'm going to nose dive it in there, but I'm not. I'm going to pull myself up as soon as I get in there. Still following my goal to keep my target location in my corner so I could use the curve of the planet to land myself right on the mark here. In fact, if that little island right there has brain trees, we're going to check that out because all around that area it's going to have they're going to have vents and other material sites that we could make use of, since we're going to get one landing spot here and get as much raw material as possible. I'm going to use the direction of my ship when I land to kind of give me an indication of where to find the vents, the other rock formations that drop other ores, as well as finding brain trees. This is an SRV expedition here, so I'm turn on night vision here so when I get closer. This system is actually close to the bubble. The 14 jumps can be shortened down once you have your long distance and mass manager applied to your frameshift drive. So it's not a bad location to bookmark. Alright. I don't want to overshoot it, so I'm going to angle down a little bit here. We kept night vision on so we could get closer to the planet and find the fields of brain trees. I'm tempted to hit boost, but I'll probably slam myself into the planet. So I'm going to use my vector thrusters to kind of angle myself down. I know that right in front of me, this area here is where the brain trees are supposed to be. Oops. All right, here we go. We're getting some indicators on this here. What we're looking for is actually a field. There's a lot of rocks out there. See, I'm just using my vector thrusters to keep myself positioned here. If I see vents all right, that is a brain tree right there, but we're going to look for a field of them. So pull ourselves out of the crater here. There's some more brain trees. Here we go. Just had to get a little closer. This is what we're looking for. This is a field of brain trees, and we can always go back towards that crater that we just flew through to pick up any extra that we need. So I'm gonna plot myself down, use my ship for orientation. Since I pointed into that blue area when we first came down, so everything on the behind me and on the other side of the down in the crater is where I'll find other ore types. So excuse the black screen of transition here. All right, here we go. We're going to activate night vision since we're on the dark side of the moon. I'm going to drop the cargo hatch and kind of get my orientation that my ship was facing the field. So you can see that we're already getting this here. So I'm going to pick the nearest one, and you have to shoot these things. Get into battle mode. It's actually good that we're getting chromium because that's another popular spot. So there's a range of items here. Chromium is actually used in a few blueprints that you'll use often, so that's not a bad find. Tungsten is another good one that we need. So coming here, you're getting a little bit more ore in the type of range, and that is a good thing. I'm stuck on this tree. I'm literally stuck on this tree. All right, I had to do a little thruster maneuvering. So effectively, we're just going to cruise through this field, collect as much as we can. You have to get a little bit of angle here. And what's nice is that we could always fly to another field and keep doing this. Kind of work in the outside area of what I could shoot easier before getting into the. All right. This is actually pretty awesome because you can find these fields all over the planet here, and with the range of materials that are dropping after the Frontier made the changes is actually good. Although we came here originally to find selenium, but we'll find it. There we go. See, selenium. I think we lost that one. Yeah, we lost that one. All right, so I think you got the gist of this. I'm gonna go through this field here and pick up everything that I can and assess where we're at on the materials. So I'm gonna pause here while I drive through this field here and collect what I can, and I'll catch back with you and give you an update. All right, I've driven around here for a while until my SRV is low, and what you see on the white dots is nothing but a field of chromium. I've collected some selenium, enough, should I say. These polyporphyrious growths, they're the nodes that have a chance to drop selenium. There is an 18% chance that selenium will drop from them, which is pretty low, and Frontier development needs to fix this because it's ridiculous to come to a field like this and you can't pick up anything after a while. But it wasn't a complete waste. I was able to pick up a lot of. I maxed out chromium, of course, but I was able to pick up some selenium, 72, teller, tellurium. I picked that up. That's a good trade value. Tin, that's a good trade value. Tungsten, you're going to use, but that's still a good trade value. So it wasn't a complete waste. So I'm going to get back in my ship here, and I'm going to show you another place that you could go and get raw materials. This place is good, and it can be improved on by Frontier. There is a respawn rate on the trees, so after a little bit, they do naturally respawn. So that's a bonus. All right, I had to make a pit stop in the Retalia system to stop at the Kennedy dock to refuel my SRB. Probably do a little bit of minor maintenance on the ship here, and also Kennedy dock is a raw material trader, which is right next to the system that we're going to. Okay. That's it. We are ready to cruise off to the ore system, which is one jump away. This is a material trader, so we're going to come back to it to do some material trading after we land on the planet in Orion system. Okay. I will see you when I get to the Orion system. Orion, or however you say it. All right, I'm in the Aurea system, however you want to pronounce that. We're at planet 2B. This is where we could find a crash site. Crash ship. This is what we're looking for right now, so we're going to lock onto it and get ourselves lined up for a planetary land. Get my orientation here. All right, so we seriously need to get rid of the Super Cruise Assist. All right. All right, I'm going to kick my throttle back because I want to get myself lined up. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to keep my target in the corner here until I'm ready to descend into it. I'm going to try to get within 300, 400 kilometers before I turn up into it. And I'm going to use the curve of the planet to get myself a good angle. All right. There we are. I'm all lined up to get into the glide. The blue area here on the surveys, there's vents all over the place, so you could go back and drive your SRB around to pick some vents up that have different raw materials. Low grade. Just checking my nav to make sure. There we go. See, look at perfect landing. Right on the target here. Turn on our night vision. This crash site's going to have cargo containers that we blow up and we could pick up the raw materials here. Admittedly, I have not been back here since they've changed material gathering, so hopefully there's a little bit more nodes than the three that were normally here before. This is the Anaconda crash site that I was mentioning earlier. There we go. V, we're going to make sure that we have our night vision on and deploy our scoop. This is a little bit of a rough terrain, but not too bad. All right, so what we're going to cruise over here and find there are different cargo that you could pick up and load up into your ship if you wanted to. What we're looking for is cargo racks. And it looks like they've do it. So what you do is you're just going to blow these things up. You want to be careful picking these up because if you drive over one of them that you don't have targeted, you could accidentally drive it into the ground and it disappears. All right, so this is where you could get the place. This was a site where you had to do a log in, log out, and hopefully they fixed that. You kind of need to be in turret mode to keep track of where these things fly off to. You want to creep up there and just to pick it up because you don't want to drive the other one that's on the ground into the dirt. Okay. I'm just scoping out the area here. We're not aiming to pick those things up, so we're gonna target the cargo rack. Looks like they added six more nodes here for a total of nine possible pickups. Uh, and they increased the volume, the rate. Usually it was between one or two that would drop out of this, so they moved it up to between 1 and 4, which is a good change. When you are doing this area, sometimes the ore would get stuck on top of these things, so you'd have to kind of jump up and grab them. And you might have to get into the contact list to make sure that you're not missing any materials that that flew off your screen that you didn't catch. So oh, it's good that we're picking up antimony, or whatever, because we'll need that ore. You don't really need a lot of that ore, but there is one blueprint that we are going to use that it does require that material. Since we don't use a lot of this anime, it is actually a tradable uh, material that you could do. So that has some good value here. This is a very common spot for new players because they could just, before they just log in, log out, and farm out 3 cargo racks. And it would take a little bit of time to fully max out each category of what could be dropped here. But it was well worth it because raw materials, for some reason, is the slowest process of collecting. That's also why I suggested earlier when we were at Jameson Crash Site to make use of the planetary land to run around and pick up the low grade ore so you didn't have to trade down for it and force yourself to repeat the process of getting higher grade ore. And they've actually dramatically improved this site. See, I went too far and I dunked that one into the ground. Uh, Scan and make sure that there's no more cargo racks. See, I want to be careful. not to drive any more of those in the ground. All right, looks like we picked this place clean of the cargo racks. Yeah, there's all these canisters you could pick up and drop them off into your ship if you're looking for a few credits to pick up along the way. This site is one of those sites where if you actually did log out and log back in to the main menu, it would refresh the nodes. With so many nodes that are here, it may be worth the log in log out hassle, since raw materials it can be long and tedious to get, and this will allow you to be able to quickly grab materials, several actually, in an area. Oh, whoops, I didn't have my cargo track down. All right, so I didn't lose it. There is a good habit to pick up. Make sure you pick up all the ore before you hit the next one, and use the contact list if you've lost sight of where they went to. All right. Yeah, see what I mean? That they get up on top of those little racks. Isn't that annoying? All right, so that's one I probably won't be able to pick up. There's one more. We picked it up even though it didn't register. Yep, look at that. Some random crash that happens to you. I was looking for that ore. Where'd that go? We picked it up even though it didn't register it. I think it's just a bug. All right, we can drop one of those over here somewhere. There we go. Seriously. All right. Frontier needs to fix some of this collision. I just want to make sure my cargo scoop is down since some of this, since it's not registering on the info that you picked something up. I think we're missing one of the items here. Yeah, there was two minerals on there, and then all of a sudden one. So this site's a little bit buggy. All right, we're gonna pick these up first. Yep, random crashes. All right. All right, that's one that we can't pick up. I think that 2 to 1 earlier material show up was the fact that I was close to that other ore that was trapped underneath that object. I always try to target the one that's closest to you. It helps when you try to get multiple ones that are right next to each other so it doesn't drive them into the ground. All right, let's see here. I think that's all the cargo containers. Nope, there's one over here. Then that should be the last of them. Oh, look at that, we got lucky on that. So why are we not being able to pick that one up? See, that's a bug. Oh, we're full on that, so that's why it's not a bug. Come on, seriously. Let me get myself a little tumble here. All right, so that's this site here. Thanks for being patient while I drove myself around here to get a gander at what they've changed in this site. This is actually not a bad site. It's almost worthwhile to do the log in, log out on this site just to pick up the materials. And we're going to cruise over to this Anaconda because there is actually a little info port that we can scan. There we go, ship data core. I will leave it to you whether or not you guys wanted to continue doing the log in, log out session here, but I'm going to go back over to Kennedy Station, do a little bit of trading, and then I'm going to begin the engineers. I just wanted to show you what this site was. They did do an improvement on it, and although I do not like Dave's Hope's log in, log out session, this one, since raw material is a little bit of a pain to do, um, the login log out session here for 9 nodes, which is like 27 ore a piece, 27 to 30. No, I take that back. 9 times 3 is 27 times 3. Is it 81 ore that you could pick up at a time here? That's pretty worth it. Okay, I will see you at the Kennedy dock in the system right next door. All right, here we are, Kennedy Space Station. We're going to do some material trading. to make sure that we have what we need to do the blueprints that we're interested in. So that's all right. So let's see here. There we go. We don't need very many of this, so I'll do 4. Alright. I'm going through the list here to make sure that we have enough of what we need. Cadmium, we do need cadmium. We need magnesium. Sulfur, we have 5. Since we have a lot of this, I'm just going to trade it up. Probably need more than that. We use a lot of Mulliman. We do need some tellurium. So this is where tellurium is actually useful here. And we're going to use a lot of vanadium. Let's see here. We got ruthenium. We need ruthenium. Carbon. Just trying to cover my bases here. I do need some of these, so I need at least 20 of those. So I don't want to short myself on everything. So I'm kind of spreading out the trade-in value here. We don't need a 10. Oh, actually, we did need 5 of those, but that's okay. All right. I sort of goofed up. I should have kept some of this. So I guess I'll use 30 selenium. Hindsight, don't get rid of all of your, and you need at least 5 is what we need. So, chromium, be sure 10. We got 10. We don't use a lot of 10, so I'm going to trade back up here. You use a lot of that. Let's see here. All right, I think that we're all ready to go. If we have to pick up anything else, we could always do some trade. We have 30 tellurium that we could trade over, across, or down, whatever. And we have a lot of tungsten that we could do a trade down, trade over. All right, we're good to go. In next session, we're going to run the gauntlet here. Look at that. We could already start with Todd the Blaster, Elvira, and Felicia Farseer. Go to this lady, then we're going to go to Todd, and by that time we're going to have the Dweller unlocked and a few others. Okay, not bad. And this person does up to level 5 frame shift drives. So there we go. We're all ready. Next game session, we're going to run the gauntlet here.